Hey folks, it's King from Stay Tuned Sports, and I gotta tell you, I love energy drinks. They help give me that boost that I need to finish all my work, get through game film recaps from all of Sunday's games, and they provide that pick-me-up during a very long week. What I don't love is that crash and the jitters, the gross feeling you get with most other energy drinks. And that's why I tried Dubby, and I gotta tell you, Dubby is a game changer with flavors like Dragonade, Beach and Peach, Galaxy Grenade, and my personal favorite, the Dub Sludge. You can find your favorite or just get them all. There's no jitters, there's no crash because there's no sugar in Dubby. Plus, Dubby contains Neurofactor, an all-natural ingredient derived from coffee cherries, which has been linked to enhance brain function. You go on over to dubby.gg right now. That's dubby.gg to grab the best energy drink you've ever had. And if you enter the code STSports18 in all caps, you'll get 10% off your order. That's STSports18 to get 10% off of Dubby. Be better.
And hello there, all you stay tuned. It might be Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Don't get me wrong here. First quarter, keep it even. Second quarter, start running the fucking ball. Third quarter, take a power nap. Fourth quarter, oh shit, there's the rest of the game. Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm a diabetic. I will root for the team that will literally give me diabetes and death. Rooting for a team from Hershey is like a Catholic rooting for Satan. It doesn't make any sense.
This is Stay Tuned Sports, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here with our built-in excuses for this weekend, buddy King.
See, here's the problem with you Eagle motherfuckers is you guys have been talking some shit all week already.
I've only seen one.
Since the Giants won on Sunday, I've been on Twitter. I've been seeing it all. Now, here's the thing. I haven't said, and I'm not going to. There will be no shit talking from me. There will be anything like that. I've actually been talking with my fiance's sister about it too, because she's a Giants fan, and she's surrounded and knows a bunch of Eagles fans as well. That's like her friends, and they're all talking shit to her. And I was like, listen, best idea right now is because here's the other thing too. I'm gonna put this out there,
okay?
Because I'm not building any excuses. This is nothing like that. I'm saying I'm not.
Here they come, folks. Here they come.
No, because this isn't. No, because that's not. I'm not even talking about that. Because I still want to address the fact that you're like, oh, he's building excuses. Suck my dick. No, I'm not. I'm gonna let the talking happen on Saturday, win or lose, however it happens, whatever it goes.
You guys started it. You guys started the talk.
We said no. We did nothing.
You had a whole stadium saying, "We want Philly. We want Philly."
What whole stadium? We didn't have a stadium. We were in Minnesota.
Yeah, your fans in Minnesota were chanting, "We want Philly."
Don't you? Well, who else are we going to face? That's the only choice we had.
Well, if you don't want trash talk back at you, then you guys keep your mouth shut.
Trash talk? That's not trash talk. That's literally saying who our next opponent is.
That's cocking back the hammer on a gun and getting ready for a gunfight.
That is not cocking back anything. You cock this is what I'm saying. Because here's the fact too. The Giants, and when it comes to Philly, we have nothing to talk shit on over the last 10 years. Nothing.
Did you see that? I was going to share that to you too.
Well, no. I mean, this is just listen. Since we've been friends,
okay.
Since we've been friends, the Giants have won, I think, twice against Philadelphia. So, like, if we're being completely honest with each other here, there is zero room for the Giants to talk shit about anything.
Yeah.
And I get that. And that's why I am not talking shit. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this or that, or equals this or that, blah, 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 or blah. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I will say this, though. However, if, these are big ifs. This is an if, hypotheticals here. If the Giants somehow, some way, by a miracle of God, Satan, whoever is in charge, Buddha, whatever, if the Giants pull off some miracle and beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Saturday, my level of obnoxiousness and the shit I will talk to you and all Eagles fans, to be honest, will be of such an epic and disproportionate amount. It'll be the likes of which you have never seen. But that is a major if, and we will cross that bridge when we get there. But we'll see. We will see.
I'll say though, like, you know, I was when you guys won, and it finally sunk in that, you know, we're playing each other. I started thinking, like, you know, you always bust on me about Jason Sehorn, that game, that, you know, that playoff game, and I'm starting thinking, like, have the Eagles ever played the Giants in the playoffs since, like, against each other since we've been friends? And I was thinking, and just happened to be the next day I saw they've played each other. This will be the 5th time they'll play each other in the playoffs.
Yes.
The last time I think was 2010, which was 2 years.
2000. Yeah, it was a 2009 season.
Yeah. So
Eagles won that one, and you won in 2007, six season,
something like that. Yeah,
because it was January 2007, but it was 2006 season. It was the season before our Super Bowl run, I believe.
Okay. And I was like, you know, I thought about that. You know, I'm sure our listeners, if they follow us on Facebook, have seen the videos from a few years ago when you came in to visit us against each other. That was. I
gotta find that video again.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is, but
like we were obnoxious with each other, and I'm thinking this is a playoff game. This is gonna be this is gonna make that video look, you know, PG rated compared to what
Part of me wished that the fiance had filmed me during this past Sunday's game with the Vikings, because like this was the Vikings. Not really, you know, it's a playoff game. It's not a rivalry game at all by any stretch of the imagination.
The rivalry adds to it.
But I was apoplectic most of Sunday. Like, I couldn't breathe. Like, I was having, my chest was hurting. Like, it was that kind of level. And when we stopped TJ Hawkinson on that 4th and 8, and like, that's it, the game's over, we have it, we're just gonna kneel it down, victory formation.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even scream. I wasn't even like, yeah, or do anything like that. Like, I distinctly remember, like, I was dead silent. Like, I covered my mouth. Like, I had a moment. Like, I was crying. And what has come to shock me is that I've seen a lot of Giants fans online either posting their reactions or talking about how they reacted to it.
Yeah.
Had very much the same reaction that I did. It's been so long since the Giants have had a moment like that. It's almost like we forgot.
Yeah.
And it was such an emotional moment for a lot of Giants fans that it wasn't so much about screaming and being like, fuck yeah, and all this kind of shit. It was a silence, and it was like oh my God, we did it. We won. I can't believe it. We won. Like, we won. And that's it. Like, as tears start coming down my cheeks, and I'm like, we won. We won. I couldn't.
You were kind of like the guy from National Lampoon's Las Vegas Vacation with the Keno, the older guy.
I'm going to tell you something. I haven't watched that movie, and if I did, I haven't watched it in 20 years. So I have no idea what scene you're talking about. I'm usually a movie guy.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen that one. But I'll tell you what. Like, I couldn't grasp it, and then like it took about a half an hour before then I like, because I knew beforehand, like, if the Giants won, they were going to face the Eagles. But it took about a half an hour after the game, after being like, oh my God, we won. Oh my God, we want to be like, oh, we're playing the Eagles. Oh, let's go. Like, then it all comes back, and it's like, all right, you know, it's like. So I mean, we're going. I'll tell you this though. We'll get into everything right now, but I'll tell. What a hell of a fucking super wild card weekend we had.
I was gonna say, you know, we're gonna eventually talk about all the games. I mean, let's be honest. Like you said, the wild card games kept on how wacky the regular season game.
Phenomenal. like, because there were games like we were looking at. I was, obviously we talked about. I've talked with, my father and other people, and just be like, I think this game will be a good game. This one should be like a blowout. This one's going to be like, I'm not, whatever. All the games except for Monday nights were close, interesting, back and forth, nail biting games.
Yeah,
and I don't think you could ask for more from super wild card weekend. Was really, 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 really good stuff. I was really entertained by the entire weekend, and now we got the divisional weekend, and I think that's going to keep on going.
Yeah, I was looking at the games. I think it's going to be just as fun and good, if not better than last week's.
It's going to be real. It's going to be real fun and real interesting. And I don't know. Do you want to start that now? Where are we going with that? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to?
The one last thing that I will say about the Giants-Eagles game.
Okay.
I was talking to Garrett Gleason, who's an iRacer that I race against sometimes, is a big Giants fan. We're all obviously we talk as much shit as me and you do. And I said the only thing that scares me about this game is the fact that you guys are playing with house money. You guys were not supposed to be here. You guys weren't even supposed to sniff the playoffs. And we are supposed to be the team of the NFC. A 7.5 point favorite I just saw. The other thing I think I saw was like we have a 70% winning chance. It's like.
But here's the thing with that though. Like I think that went away with the Minnesota game. Personally, the playing with house money phrase.
Well, and that's the other thing too is Minnesota did look like the Minnesota team towards the end of the season that me and you started to say, they are frauds. But that Giants team played really good. Daniel Jones, I just can't get over the fact with him. And I was talking to another guy at work who's a Giants fan, how they did that quarterback power sweep or whatever it was. Like he ran out to the right side. And the whole offensive line, I think it was like third quarter or so. But he looked so slow doing it. But he's not. He's
not. But that's it. Because he's the other thing people forget is that he's a fucking giant. He literally is a New York Giant.
Yeah.
He's 6'5". He's what, 220, 215, 220?
Yeah, he's a good sized guy.
And he's got to, and as we found out with the play you love making fun of him for, where he tripped on the 20-yard line of Philly.
Tripped on the 20 and fell out the 5.
In that run that he had, though, he was the fastest player to run that entire season. He hit something like 22 miles an hour or something on that run. But you look at him and you wouldn't think it. You look at him, you're like big, lanky white guy. He doesn't run it. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I want everybody. I want I want Philadelphia. I want them looking out there. I want them to say, look at that white boy. He can't run. I want them to say that. Yeah. I want them to look at him and say, white boy can't run. Go ahead and say that and underestimate him even more. Yeah. Because although here's the thing, I don't think anybody's going to underestimate it more.
No, same thing. I think that ship has sailed a couple weeks ago.
Because that especially if you're going to talk about that Minnesota game, if I'm Philadelphia, I'm like, listen, a lot like how other teams have to prepare for Jalen Hurts running and his ability to make plays out of nothing with his feet.
Yeah.
And even sometimes if it's designed, you're going to have to do that with Daniel Jones. You have to.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise he will burn you. So there's that. But here's the other thing. From the last couple of games that Daniel Jones has played, listen, the Danny Dimes name is there for a reason. Motherfucker throws darts.
Oh, yeah.
He throws fucking darts. So now, if the Giants receivers can hold on to the balls, which Hodgins is becoming a star just because he can fucking hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
A Buffalo Bills practice squad player, because of all the Giants' injuries, picked him up. He starts playing for us. He has made the most of every opportunity he's gotten. Slayton has been a dog, even though he dropped that one pass that would have sealed the game at that point. So did I. But again, you saw Dabo went up to him even after that. Didn't yell at him, didn't scream at him, didn't do anything like that. Just said, listen, we're going to need you.
Yeah.
So put that shit behind you and let's go. Again, great. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. Some of the talking heads say the same thing, but there's, it's one of those things. There's something about this team. And could it all go up in smoke on Saturday night? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I don't subscribe to either. The whole, it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. 15-6, I believe, is the record. It's either 15-6 or 15-8.
Okay.
With teams trying to beat a team for the 3rd time in a season. So it's happened more than it hasn't happened. Yeah. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that the Eagles beat the Giants. Oh, they're real familiar with them. Oh, this is a division game. Oh, listen, none of that shit matters. And for the record, the Eagles have fucking owned the Giants' ass for 10 years. They've owned it. I've seen that belt that we fight for twice in the 10 years we've done it. And it was only because of tiebreakers and the points, because the Giants have only ever split. We haven't swept the Eagles, I think, in 12 years. Or 13, maybe even longer than that. Like, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, like again, that goes to my whole other thing. I'm not talking shit this week on Eagles fans. Let you guys go nuts. The only thing I will talk shit on is, listen, Philadelphia's not that far from New York.
Okay.
Culturally, sure, there's some different things, but it's not that far from New York. Coach Sirianni, my brother in Christ.
Okay.
What the fuck is you doing eating a Pizza Hut stuffed crust fucking pizza? Are you what the fuck are you eating? No.
Don't get pizza. Get cheesesteaks.
There's got to be some better. Listen, Philadelphia might not have great pizza, but there's got to be better pizza than a fucking stuffed crust pizza. And not only that, there's better food or other stuff to get. But he said, I was craving a stuffed crust Pizza Hut.
I don't mind stuffed crust, but Pizza Hut. That's like Papa John's.
Stuffed crust is an abomination of God.
No, you gotta get the right cheese inside.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No, listen. I'm from northern New Jersey. I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to fucking pizza. All right, gabagool, how you doing? That's the only shit talk you're gonna get from me. Is you're gonna be eating a stuffed crust Pizza Hut pizza, dude? If you're gonna be sitting in the office watching the game, studying film, doing shit like that, get some real food in there, huh? Come on, you're in Philly, you're a head coach, you're worth millions of dollars, you're gonna get fucking Pizza Hut. Come on, what do you got? You got an advertising deal? That's the only reason that makes any sense. Is if he has an advertising deal with Pizza Hut. The only thing.
Let's jump right to the Chargers-Jaguars game.
Oh, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. We're not going in order. We're kind of jumping around.
Because
okay.
I don't want to forget about this game. I remember I was drunk when I texted you.
I can't forget about the game,
dude. I was doing something on my laptop. And I had the TV.
Looking up porn, probably.
Yeah,
inappropriate.
Okay, I was gonna go somewhere, but I'll leave that for our private chats.
No, don't say that now. It sounds like we look at porn together. That's no. No.
Oh boy. Okay, so and I looked over. What was it? 27-0 at halftime, right? Chargers.
Yes.
And
no, at halftime it was 27-7. The Jaguars scored a late touchdown in the first half. Yeah,
and
but
I was
the
like,
Chargers were leading 27-0.
Yeah, and I was like, this game's over. But I was legit about to turn it off. But I was like, you know what? I just want to keep, because I was down here by myself, and I was like, I just want background noise on while I do logos and stuff like that.
Right.
Going, and I pick my head up over, and I'm like, okay, Jacksonville's driving, touchdown, 27-14. I'm like, okay, 27-21 or whatever was the next score. I'm like, if they get another score here, they might have a chance to pull this comeback off. And that's when I start watching. Holy shit, dude! Talk about a game and a half.
Well, because this was the thing. Like, it was kind of the same way after the 4:00 game, which was San Francisco, Seattle. Good game, by the way. And then the Jacksonville game happens, and it's like, oh, no, interception right off the bat. And then it's like, oh, no, another interception. And it's like, oh, this is going to get bad. And that's it. But when you look at it, it's 27-0. And I was like, all right, and this is done. So now I'm just laying on the couch with my fiance. I'm playing, I think I was playing some kind of like pool game on my phone, just shooting pool, because at this point the game is background noise.
Yeah.
Not only that, but Al Michaels and Tony Dungy would put me to sleep. They had zero enthusiasm, which you can understand. My problem was they had zero enthusiasm as the Jaguars were coming back.
Yeah.
But this is it. I'm just sitting here like I'm not even paying attention to the game now because I'm like, okay, this is over. This has a chance to be Georgia TCU.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, thank you, Jaguars, for coming. You did a great job getting to the playoffs and winning your division after being terrible. But you still got a lot of rebuilding to do, still stuff like that. That's fine. So I'm doing all that, and then the Jaguars come out. And they get a score. Oh, okay. Whoa, 27-14. Oh, they're going to make something out of this, huh? They're going to try to anyway. Yeah, good for them. But it's like the Chargers got Herbert. Even without Mike Williams, they still have Keenan Allen. You still got you got like they're fine. They're fine. They're going to be fine. And then they stop them. And then the Jaguars go down and they score. And then the Chargers get it and they get a field goal. So now it's, okay, 27-30. Okay. And so it's I think at that point it's 30-20 because the Jaguars had gone for 2 and missed it. Even though there was a penalty end zone, they didn't call it. So it was 30-20, 10-point game. And you're like, 10-point game? I was like, oh, all right. The Jaguars didn't score. Chargers got it. They go down the field. They have to kick a field goal. Dicker, the kicker, who's been pretty automatic, and this one was 30-something yards or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, okay, this is going to put it now to 13 points, so it's going to be a 2-score, basically a 2-touchdown game again. And time is starting to run down at this point, so you're like, that should be it. And he fucking missed it. He hooked it, and now you're like, oh, you could start feeling it. You can start feeling like when Hulk Hogan started to shake in the middle of the ring and it started hulking up. It was like, oh no, this is it. And sure enough, the Jaguars go down the field. They score. They go for 2. They get it this time because Joey Bosa loses his fucking mind again because he's like, I'm being held, or I think it might have been an offsides or something, and he's trying to talk to the ref, and he slams his helmet down, gets another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
He said something to that ref. Did you see that video?
The first one is when he said something to the ref, and then the ref ran up to him and was like, motherfucker, you said what?
Yeah.
And then threw the flag. Like, that ref had that look on his like, oh, sweet child, you did not just say that to me, motherfucker. Like, so and knowing Joey Bosa's history, who knows what he fucking said.
I'm getting tired of him, though, Joey Bosa. But
most people, I think, are tired of Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
At this point, I think it's clear that Nick is the better Bosa.
Yeah.
Not just in skill level, but in temperament and ability to communicate. And according to my fiance, his arms are clearly better. So, but. So he loses his shit. So now that gives a penalty. So they get 1 yard closer. So that's when they were going to go for the extra point. Bosa gets the penalty. They move it to the 1 yard line. So they say, okay, screw it. We'll go for the 2 points. And Trevor Lawrence is long enough. He could just reach the ball over the goal line standing there. And he's fine. So they do that. So now it's 28-30. So now like that's a 2-point game. It's like all they need is one more stop and get in field goal range, and they got this game.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they start. So now all of a sudden, this whole time where I'm sitting on the couch playing my little video game on my phone, I'm like, oh, it's background noise anyway. It's just something while we sit here, and I'll finish the rest of the snacks that we had to put out, and we'll do all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, they're not really going to do this. They're not really. Are they really? Are they really going to do this? And then, sure enough, they stop the Chargers. They go down the field. That 4th and 1 fucking sweep call, was what a fucking call that got them like 20 yards, made it pretty much an automatic field goal. Time runs all the way down. Snap, kick, hold, up, good. I mean, just what an unbelievable scene to come back from 27 points down. And this is what I'm talking about. People can talk about how the Jaguars came back and that's such a defensive problem and all this other shit. The Chargers scored 3 points in that second half.
Yeah, they just went flat.
And that makes me think if Trevor Lawrence hadn't thrown 4 interceptions in the fucking first half, how many points would the Chargers scored?
Yes,
because without getting the ball basically right in scoring position in red zone territory with these bad picks that Trevor Lawrence had thrown in that first half, They didn't move the ball at all.
Yeah.
At all. So, I mean, there's a lot there. And of course, everybody thought, how does Braden Staley still have a job? But I think it's clear the answer is that the Spanos are cheap. So they're not gonna fire him, pay him the money that he needs, and also try to hire Sean Payton, who's going to cost him a pretty penny. Because apparently the Spanoses are, I believe they said, the second poorest owners in the NFL. Oh, that's
really?
The second least wealthy owners in the NFL, which makes sense. And plus, I think the kids are fighting with Dean, who's the father. So there's a whole bunch of shit going on there with the Chargers. Aside from the fact they should still be in San Diego.
Exactly.
Don't let me get started on that. So, but just such an improbable win and such a great win for the Jaguars. Such a great win for that fan base. That's such a moment, and it sucks for the Charger fans, for the few that are out there, unfortunately, nowadays. But that goes up to, it's not quite the level of 28-3.
Yeah.
But it's close.
It's close. Yeah. I mean,
because it wasn't the Super Bowl. It's the only reason it's not ever going to be as bad.
Well, I mean, they did say it's the third biggest comeback in playoff history. So, I mean, Super Bowl is a playoff, so you got to.
Well, no, because this was a bigger comeback than the Super Bowl one.
Oh, okay.
The Super Bowl was only 25 points. This one was 27.
Okay. So I thought I saw something that said third biggest comeback.
No, because the first one was the Bills-Oilers.
Yeah. Which
was 31 points, I think.
Yeah.
Or 30, 32, 31, something like that. Yeah. And then there's this one for the playoffs. The Vikings now have the one for overall with the Colts this year.
Okay.
But for the playoffs, it's that Bills-Oilers game in 93, which I remember watching. And that's how old I am. And then this one is the 27 points.
Okay.
And that's fucking insane.
And you really look at the Jaguars' offense. Okay, Trevor Lawrence, he's talented. Travis, I think his first
Etienne,
name,
baby.
Etienne, he's talented. Who's their receivers though? Like
they
average.
I wish I can remember.
But see, that's
because they do have good receivers.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, they have that one.
I forget their name right now. I don't have anything in front of me.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a Jaguars fan. I don't follow them.
I know they have that one kid, Kirk from the Cardinals. They picked up in the offseason as a free agent. But other than that, I mean, but yet you look on the other side, like you said, with the Chargers, you had Mike Williams, you have Keenan Allen. They have pieces there. Imagine what this Jaguars team is going to look like in a year or two when they add some more pieces to that offense and the defense too. They might be trouble.
This is what I mean is that they have a base now. They have a base in which they can build off of. And something like this is going to build it. And then also something like this too is what this does is make people say, I want to play down there.
Yeah.
I want to play for Coach Peterson. I want to play for this fucking stud, Trevor Lawrence. I want the ball thrown to me. I want to be on that defense. I want to be part of Duval. I want to be a part of all that. This is a huge, huge win for Jacksonville, who now have to go to Kansas City. And
Big Red versus Dougie P.
I think that's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting than people think.
I agree. It's
going to be a lot more interesting. And it's, this is a test. Am I going to go out as far as to say that Jacksonville will win that game? We'll get to the picks later.
Yes.
But I think that game has a chance to be a lot more interesting.
Yeah. Because I mean, as of right now, I think it's a 7.5 or 8.5 point.
That one is an 8.5. That one is an 8.5 point favorite for Kansas City at home. Understandable. I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
By all metrics and everything on paper, Kansas City should win that game.
Yeah.
So like I said, we'll get to the picks later. But I think that has a chance to be a lot more interesting. As everything in the playoffs this year has told us, things are going to be a lot more interesting than we ever thought they were going to be. Listen, the first game, San Francisco and Seattle. I'm sorry. I went into that game thinking San Francisco's going to own this game. They're going to have this game. And when you look at it at halftime, fucking Seattle had the lead.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, all this talk about San Francisco probably being the best team in the NFC, whether it's them or the Eagles or whoever it's going to be.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people's Super Bowl favorites. There are a lot of teams they could do this. Brock Purdy, all the talk about Brock Purdy. They had fucking Paul Heyman cut a promo for him before the game, which was fucking awesome.
I didn't see that.
They have, dude, it was pretty good. If you could go find it on Twitter, it was really, really, really good. But everything Paul Heyman does is good. And then you see this, and it's like, yeah, he came out in his first couple series. He played like a rookie quarterback. He seemed very shaky. Didn't have the best throws. Didn't have, didn't seem to have a great command of what was going on. But as the game went on, you saw almost kind of like with Trevor Lawrence. There was a bit of that, not sure, not quite, not right there. And Seattle was hitting everything they needed to hit. And then that second half came, and all of a sudden, just one or two mistakes by Seattle.
Yeah. And
it was the tide switched immediately. And then it went from Seattle having, I think it was a 1-point lead. I think it was 17-16 at halftime. Yeah. They had a 1-point lead. And then next thing you know, you blunk, and it was 2 touchdowns down.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit. And I'll say this, though. Massive credit to Geno Smith. Massive credit to the Seattle Seahawks for an absolutely insane and amazing year for them, and for something that nobody fucking saw coming.
Yeah.
Like, again, I remember doing a show with you talking about how Seattle's going to be maybe the worst team in NFL history.
Yeah.
Going into the season. They're going to be so bad. They're starting Geno Smith, and their only other option is Drew Lock. They are fucked. They're terrible. They don't have They don't have Russell Wilson, of any of that, and blah, blah, blah. Turns out Geno Smith had a career reawakening. God bless him. Good for him. It was great to see him after so many years of, again, being ruined by the Jets.
Yeah.
And then, Ben McAdoo kind of fucked him over in the Giants, where he became the one to end Eli's streak for starting. And it was like, that was just a bad spot for him. That was a bad spot for everybody on the team. That there was no reason to do that at that point. Like, it was just, it was weird. There was no reason for that. Like, he just, and again, he bounced around. Didn't seem like he was ever going to get a chance to really show what he could do. And that's the thing. People forget that when he was at West Virginia, man, he was a fucking stud.
Oh, yeah.
He was a stud coming out of college. And to see him in a situation where he was allowed to flourish and be who he always was, and who just nobody ever saw, I mean, that was great. It was surprising. It was fun to see. So, again, overall, yes, I understand Seattle fans might be disappointed, but if you went into the season the way Seattle was going, and I said, listen, you're going to get to play your division rival in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you may not win, but you're going to get there. I think they would take it.
Yeah.
I think take it. And plus, they still get a fucking top 5 pick.
Yeah. And they're the same boat as the Giants. They were basically just playing with house money. They were supposed to be equivalent, if not like we said, worse than what the Giants were supposed to be. And that's why too. If I'm Seattle, and Geno, I try to work out a contract and stay in Seattle. I mean, Seattle.
I think he has one there.
I thought I saw
he's
him
there for a bit.
I thought I saw him make a comment of, he played into a starting contract come next season. Maybe
that's it. Maybe they'll rework it. Maybe they'll do something like that.
You don't want to go to Drew Lock. I mean, you know what you got in Geno. You know what Drew Lock's going to do. Why not?
Again, we said that about Geno, and look what happened.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not one that's going to sit here and I think quarterbacks need the right environment, the right people around them, good coaching and stuff like that. If anything, what Dable has done with Daniel Jones shows you that. Now, again, with Daniel Jones, it was always there. He had the physical talent. He had the ability. It was just the little things, holding on to the fucking football, making the right decisions with the football. Don't try to force things. Don't cause interceptions. Using your legs in the right manner, in the right way, doing things like that.
Yeah.
And when you see what the Giants have done this year and what Dable has done with Daniel Jones, and you start looking at it and you start realizing, like when I posted in the preseason, because when everybody was trying to talk shit, Daniel Jones sucks, they gotta get rid of him. The Giants should trade for Baker Mayfield, was a legitimate fucking argument from people. Like, are you out of your skull? But seriously, that was things people were saying. And I remember posting the stat line. I remember it came up on one of the television networks, and I posted a screenshot showing how very similar the stats are between Daniel Jones and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And people are like, how dare you try to compare Daniel Jones with Josh Allen? And people forget that for the first 2 years, people were screaming to get rid of Josh Allen. He's a bust. He's terrible. He's awful. And he was. Let's not forget that. The first 2 years of Josh Allen's career, he sucked donkey ass.
Yeah.
He was terrible. Guess what happened, though? They brought in Brian Daboll, and he worked with them. And now Josh Allen is considered to be an elite top-level quarterback. Although now, Daboll's with the Giants, and Josh Allen, as we saw in Sunday's early game, still can't stop turning the ball over.
Yeah. That was amazing in the red zone there.
And he's done it all year.
Yeah.
All year. He's got the highest amount of red zone turnovers in the NFL. But you look at Daniel Jones, I think he's got 22 total touchdowns, 5 interceptions all year. Cut down. Yeah, I think he's got, what do you have, 2 fumbles this year? I think he had 2 fumbles this year.
Something like
getting
that.
Hit from the blind side,
yeah,
getting knocked
low.
out. So compared to what he was doing, I think he had like 10 at some point in one of these past seasons he had.
Yeah.
It's just those little things. It's those little things. And if you put the people in the right spot, in the right situation to succeed, they'll succeed. Like, look at Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, everybody said, he's a bust, he's a bust, he's a bust, he's a bust. You put him in the right situation, he succeeded. Tom Brady, not in a great situation. Offensive line's bad. A lot of weapons were hurt. Poor defense. Different coaching staff doesn't really fit his needs or what he was doing. And look what happened. They made that motherfucker throw 66 times on fucking Monday night. Are you kidding me?
I'll tell you what. I watched the first half of that game and 2 drives of the second half because I figured, okay, maybe with how the NFL's been this past weekend and all year long, maybe the real Tom Brady will step up and bring them back. And when I saw those first 2 drives of the second half, I'm like, that's not Tom Brady. That's Drew Lock out there,
No, but see, again, I'm not putting it on Brady. I'm putting it on a situation.
No, I know. And then that's when I found out when I woke up the next day that he passed 66 times. I'm like, you're not going to, I don't care who you are. You're not going to win a game if your team has to pass 66 times.
And that's what I mean. Like, even I was watching the Manning cast, and even Peyton's going there, like, it would be nice if you'd run the ball once or twice, And that was in late first quarter. They said, guess what? We're just not running. Pardon me. They're just not running the ball today. They're just. Guess what, guys? Hey, Leonard, take a seat. Playoff Lenny, you don't have to worry about playoff Lenny. He can take a seat. It's like 66 fucking passes. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I mean, you usually average 75 play calls a game, 75 to 80. I mean, that 80 is high, but I mean, come on, even if you're getting 1-2 yards a clip, you still got to run the ball.
You're talking somewhere between that, like you said, if that's the case, I don't know how many total plays they ran, but you're talking somewhere between 80 and 90% of the plays was Brady dropping back to pass. Stupid. And that's what I mean. I certainly hope he doesn't retire.
Yeah.
I certainly hope that he goes to Vegas or wherever for one last kind of run. You got Josh McDaniels out there. Maybe he can save him and make him look like a genius again.
Yeah.
You got Devontae Adams. The Raiders have a good defense. Like the Raiders are not a terrible team.
No.
They're not a terrible team. So who knows? Who knows what comes out of that? Who knows how that'll look? again, they got Josh Jacobs out there, so I don't think you're going to have to worry about Tom Brady throwing 66 fucking times out there.
Well, Jacobs is not under contract when the season ends.
Oh, he will be
From the Raiders.
he's the NFL rushing leader.
Yeah.
He's getting fucking paid.
Well, yeah, I was going to say he's probably looking at the Raiders now. Like, I bet you wish you picked up my fifth year, aren't you?
So he'll get there. He'll get there. He'll get it. And the Raiders, for everything, all the money that they save from not firing Josh McDaniels, they'll do that.
Put it on him. So staying with the Dallas game, can you kick the ball at all?
Listen, sometimes you just have a bad night.
Listen,
I'm chalking that up to because listen,
bad night is two misses.
I've seen Brett Maher kick footballs now for 5-6 years or whatever, how long he's been with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He is one of the NFL's elite kickers. He is 1,000%. He kicks the ball, it goes through.
Yeah.
99.6% of the time, it does. He just had a night where something was in his fucking skull, and
I'm telling you, I think someone got to him and said, "Miss extra points, or we're breaking your legs." Because how those balls were coming off his foot and everything, they weren't like, "Oh, I just missed it." They were knuckle pucks.
No, it's like a golfer who gets the yips. It's like if you're playing tennis and you just all of a sudden your serves are fucking wild, and every now and then you just get. I think it happens to everybody, and you hope you work them out in practice. But whatever the case is, I certainly hope he works it out before they go to San Francisco or Santa Clara.
I don't. I hope he keeps missing.
Well, I mean, no, I hope for his sake. I mean,
for his sake, yes. For the Cowboys,
I don't care about the Cowboys. But I felt bad.
I just wonder if there was something going on behind like practices and stuff, because it was the second one I think he missed is when the camera caught Dak Prescott yelling, why
are we going for two? It was the second or third one, yeah. And
so I mean that shows that Dak Prescott has no confidence in the kicker.
Well, at that point, no. When you miss 2 extra points, it's like fucking. What are you doing?
Yeah,
that's the point. Is it's an extra point. It should be automatic, and you miss the first 2, and then you go for it again. You miss a third one, and then they try it again just for shits and giggles, and he misses again. And I understand trying to keep with your boy. I understand it. Like you want to get with them, and let's face facts: the Cowboys were not in danger of losing that game after the third touchdown. So even with it being 18-0 and having missed 3 straight extra points, I think he got his fit. I think they tried for it. He got one of them.
Yeah, after the fourth one, he because the fourth one is when Dak, or the fourth one is when Peyton.
So either an extra point or a field goal or something. They got something because they stopped going for field goals. Still, I remember that on that 4th down play where they went and got where Dak got a touchdown, and then they went for an extra point and he missed it. But like Brett Maher, he is one of the elite kickers in the NFL. He's one of the kickers that you know by name.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker, Graham Gano, Butker from Kansas City. Like, some of these names. Yeah. Like Brett Maher is one of those names. So when you're a kicker and you're known, like you're an elite kicker. You're at the top of your game. He just had a bad night. Whether it was the grass, whether it was. I don't know. Did he have a bad fucking chimichanga or something before the game, or did he get frisky with one of the lady pirates that hang out by the ship? I don't know. I don't know what got into him, but you certainly hope for him and for his career that he's able to turn that around, because you'd hate to see him lose a job for that. But again, I don't think he'd be unemployed that long, because his track record is good. If the Cowboys do let him go, another team will pick him up quickly.
Yeah.
So
since watching the Dallas game and obviously the Giants game, who do you think had a better game, Jones or Prescott?
Jones. I think I'll put it this way because, again, with Dak Prescott, the contract he has, the notoriety that he has, everything else that he has on him, it's expected that he performs at an elite level. And when he doesn't, and let's be honest, he hasn't for a long time now.
Yeah.
And especially this season, you have things turn against you. Now, again, he played well. Was it against a great team or a great defense? Not really. So there's still going to be people that doubt him. Now, again, I go to Jones, and there's a lot of arguments to be made that way. People, well, Minnesota's defense sucks. To be fair, they do.
Yeah.
They did not play well. But the majority of the people out there were saying that didn't matter if Minnesota's defense was weak or not because Daniel Jones sucks. The Giants don't have receivers. The Giants are bad, and they're going to lose the game. So when you have Daniel Jones perform the way he does, become the first quarterback in NFL history with over 300 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 70-plus yards rushing. Again, first quarterback in history to do that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even against the defense that you may not think is great, what Daniel Jones did was say, listen, whether you think I'm elite or not doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that I performed great, no turnovers, was throwing dimes, was using his legs on on that one drive. They ran him like fucking 7 times on designed runs, but he was making it. That's what I mean. Is like this motherfucker makes it.
Yeah.
Like he's stiff arming Patrick Peterson. Like he stiff armed that dude to the shadow realm. Like, are you kidding me?
I actually thought he got hurt that one quarterback sneak that he got bent backwards.
Yeah, you saw that. I was like, oh my god, they broke him in half. Yeah. I turned it to JR. I was like, my god, he's broken in half. But again, tough. It reminded me a little bit of, I don't know if you remember this, the 2011 NFC Championship game, Giants against San Francisco. Eli Manning got murdered in that game.
Oh, yeah.
He got beat to shit. And the one thing I will always remember about that game is after every hit, and he had some fucking tooth rattlers, man. But after every hit, he got up. He was covered in mud and dirt and blood. Like he was fucking just beat to shit. But after every play, he would get up and he'd stand in there and he'd take the hits and the completions would be made and the passes would be made and the plays would be made. And he would stand in there and take it. And it was just a level of toughness. And after seeing some of the hits that DJ was taking and that he was inflicting, and then also on that, like you said, the QB sneak where he got fucking bent in half. And then he gets up, shakes his shoulders a little bit, goes back to the huddle, gets everybody going. Like there was such a equal, like a reminding moment for me of just like, oh, it felt like it. Like it just feels like it, you know? And it's just like, and that's when it started like getting real for me. And that's when I started getting rid of that. Like you keep on talking about the house money thing. That's when the house money kind of sentiment in my mind started to go away a bit. And you start seeing some things like that. And all of a sudden it's like, maybe this is more than just playing with house money. Maybe this is something.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something more. Maybe this is like, what is going on? Like, what do we do? Like, is this something? Like we've seen it before. The Giants coming in as a 6 seed, being 9-7 or 9-7-1 in this case. And you kind of figure they're an afterthought. And they go on the road and they beat a higher seeded team. And then they got to go on the road again and play the number 1 seed. And then, what happens? Like it's just, if there's a franchise that has made a living in the last 20 years of being the team that just gets into the playoffs and personifies the just get in and anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's the New York Giants. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying this is what is expected right now, but there's a feeling. there's a gleam. There's a gleam, man. There's a gleam. And it just if something it's starting to feel like something more than house money.
Yeah.
Not to scare you, not to put you off your feet here.
It did sound like a little bit of a trash talk there, but
it's not trash talk. At what point did I ever trash talk the Eagles? I didn't. I did not. I'm not trash talking the Eagles.
You insinuated it.
I didn't insinuate anything.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't insinuate anything. Again, I've talked about the last time the Giants did this. The last time the Giants did this, the 2 times that we did it, we didn't play the Eagles. We played the Cowboys and the Packers.
Yeah.
We didn't do this. And the 49ers in 2011. Like we didn't do this. We didn't do it to the Eagles.
You want to talk a little bit about the Bills Miami game too? Because that was another game.
Again, another fucking shocking game where you're talking about the Dolphins were leading.
Yeah.
At a point in that game. And again, Josh Allen always with the fucking interceptions, like always with the turnovers, costly turnovers, bad turnovers. And that's why Miami had the lead at one point in that game, was because he kept on throwing picks. Now, granted, there were a couple picks there that were clearly receiver. I think there's the Paul Pabst from the Dan Patrick Show. He wants to have a new, I think it's called like receiver cause interception, RCIs.
Okay.
Which I think is a great idea for first stat, because how many times do we look to say, well, that's not on the quarterback. That shouldn't be on a quarterback. But there were a couple where it hit the receiver right in the hands, and he would bounce it and bobble it, and then, the Dolphins would go and intercept it. So, but, man, what a great game. The Dolphins put up a fight I didn't think they had.
Yeah.
And I think they would have, especially with their third string quarterback, who I am actually struggling to remember what the fuck his name was.
Last name, I think it's Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson. There we go.
See,
I knew
I'm good for something.
You are. Thank you for having memory, because I'd be fucked. I really would. But I mean, they played exceptionally well. What killed them was trying to get the fucking plays in that time on time.
Dude, that was bad.
When you have the ability to do so and you don't, and also I think asking a little too much of Skylar. I think listen, don't ask your third string rookie quarterback. I mean, again, San Francisco's doing that right now, but in Miami's case, I would be like, don't ask him to try to squeeze things in a tight window.
Yeah, on
the road. In a hostile environment, I think there were some things like that. Also, Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
Oh my God!
Absolutely let him down with dropping some of those balls right in the chest, right in the hands. So many times, great throws, and they just dropped them.
For me, it was mostly Waddle too, because they were big bombs that he had and just dropped.
And listen, if they catch those balls, it's a completely different game, and the Dolphins might have pulled away
exactly
in that game. Like you can't drop those balls, and especially like you're supposed to be like top flight NFL receivers. You're supposed to try and make your third string quarterback look good, because listen, everybody else is injured. You have to step up your game, and now here you are getting picture perfect throws to you, and you're dropping the ball. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, Miami had to play a near perfect game to win that game, and they didn't, and they still almost won the game. That tells me that just a couple of those plays, if a couple of those plays go the other way, you're looking at a completely different thing. And now we're talking about maybe the Super Bowl favorite all year is already home.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? That would have been the most super wild of wild card weekend results if the Bills had fucking lost. And then you go to the other one. We thought, oh, well, this is easy. They played last week and they handled them pretty well, so they should do the same thing this week. And then again, the Bengals struggling like hell against the fucking Ravens.
Yeah.
With Tyler Huntley.
Now Huntley's just a backup, right? He's not a third string.
No, he's just a backup.
Backup, okay.
Maybe soon to be starter, considering how things are going there in Baltimore. And listen, that whole franchise is a mess. What J.K. Dobbins was saying after the game is ridiculous.
Yeah, to me, you can't say that to
and
reporters.
especially because I'm sorry, Tyler Huntley played an absolutely amazing game, and he had them on the cusp. I think trying to go for that QB sneak was a bad call, but that's a play call.
Yeah,
that's on Harbaugh. That's not on Huntley. Again, Huntley's not Trevor Lawrence. That was Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence could have just stuck his arm out and he would have fucking got it. I get it.
Yeah,
but he's not that guy. Is J.K. Dobbins wrong in saying that if Lamar was playing that game that they would have won? I don't know. But I don't know if they would have done much better than what Huntley gave him. I don't know that.
And that's the thing is we've seen playoff Lamar and he doesn't take his games do well in the playoffs. Yeah, exactly.
No, he does not. So, and I honestly think with all that, and plus then, listen, I understand there are people out there trying to defend him saying, well, he does have a PCL, and if he does have that, and there's knee swelling, and I understand that. And especially for somebody who is playing for a contract, you don't want to risk then, ripping your knee up.
Exactly.
And then being out of it. I get that. I do understand that. But you explain that to everybody else in the locker room.
Yeah.
Explain it to everybody. You're supposed to be the leader in there. And now explain it to everybody else who is playing with, deep tissue bruises and with swollen knees and with tears and sprains and pulls all over their body, which everybody has at this point of the year.
Yeah. And
go in there and tell them, sorry guys, I can't play. I can't risk my contract coming up. Can't do it.
Yeah.
That's a hard look. That's a hard look. I understand it, but it's a hard look. And that's also why I don't think Lamar's in Baltimore next year.
No, I think he's gone. But I think he's going to sit out. And I think that's going to be my prediction because I don't see Baltimore just letting him walk and get nothing in return. I could see Baltimore tagging him something like franchise or transition.
Well, they'll franchise tag him. He won't sign it. It'll be a thing, but it'll be basically a sign and trade. It'll be they'll trade him to somebody if they agree to like what happened with Deshaun and the Browns.
Yeah,
he'll get traded. They'll sign. There'll be a new contract wherever he goes, and that'll be that. And if I was a betting man, I think I know where Lamar's going to end up next year. To tell you the truth,
where do you think?
Jets, Jets.
I mean, it makes sense.
I think that's where he's going.
Basically, just a quarterback away. They got the receivers now.
They have a defense that's fucking stacked.
Yep.
They have a great offense, running back, wide receivers. They have everything set
and
to do something.
If how do you pronounce his name? The head coach,
Robert Saleh.
If he can't win with Lamar Jackson in that team, he's got to go.
Yeah.
So you ran out of all of your excuses to.
And they'll have a new OC. They'll have a new OC, because they fired LaFleur. So
yeah, I saw that too.
We're gonna see. So, but I think that is where he ends up, and I think that that'll be interesting, especially here in the New York area. It's gonna be very interesting. But that's what I see happening there. And now you got a matchup that, again, was postponed a couple of weeks ago because of obviously the insane happenings that happened on the field with DeMar Hamlin and being resuscitated and now he's at home and everything like that. But now you have two teams who everybody kind of wants to see them face each other, but who didn't have the greatest playoff games.
Yeah.
Who kind of were, not sleepwalking, but didn't perform to the level that we thought they would have. Or maybe their opponents just played harder than they thought or was going to be. So that's going to be interesting to see how that happens and what happens with that game. Again, it's close enough. And I'm not, especially after seeing a Buffalo performance against Miami, I don't think it's a lock that they win this game.
No.
I don't think it's a lock they win that game at all.
Well, since we're talking about the Bills-Bengals games, do you want to do our playoff picks?
I was going to say we went through all the super wild card weekends, so now I think it's time to go to. I don't know. What do they? They just call it the divisional round. Huh? There's no cool little adjective.
I was going to say they go from a cool name to blah.
To just the divisional round. It's like it should be like Big Dick divisional round Saturday or whatever. I don't know.
Like Triple D playoff games, or I don't know.
Double D. Everybody loves a Double D divisional playoff round. Big old hanging Double Ds. We got 2 divisional games on Saturday and Sunday. The Double Ds for 2 days. Double D divisional third.
See, that's why NFL, once again, 3 weeks in a row, they should hire us. We would be good at these naming things.
We'd be good consultants. We would make excellent consultants. We only ask for about $40 million each for our consulting work. We'll be fine. I think that's fine. We could do that.
I think that's agreeable.
I think that's more than amenable. Yeah, no, I think yeah. We could do that.
So, all right. So our playoff picks from last week. Me and King were talking before the show. I think the only one that we were different on were the Jaguars-Chargers game. I took the Chargers. First half looked like I was right. Second half, King was right.
I know. Yeah. After that first half, I was just like, okay, well, I misjudged that because my whole thing going is I was like, San Francisco game should be a blowout, but I think that that Jaguars Chargers game will be close. Will be a good one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wow, Niners and Seahawks was close for 3.5 quarters. That's amazing. And then it's like, you get that first half of the Chargers game. It's like, well, shit, I was wrong about this one. And then turns out, actually turned out to be pretty close, but and I won. The only game I believe I lost was I believed in Tom. I believed in Tom too much.
Yeah, both of us
and lost that one. So that would make me 5-1. That would make you 4-2.
Yeah.
And now we go to the divisional round, the Big Dick Double D divisional round.
So we will leave the Giants-Eagles game for last pick.
I figured that was the way we were going to go.
And the other thing too, I'm glad there's no Monday night game.
I don't like that there was a Monday night game this time. I understand why ABC pushed for it, but have that be on Sunday night or push that. Like, do your game at another time, because what a disadvantage for whoever wins that Monday night game. Now you only have, and again they're going to have 16, but now Dallas is going to San Francisco. San Francisco has 2 extra days to prepare,
exactly,
because they played on Saturday, and Dallas played on Monday. Like that's I don't see how that's fair at all. I don't like it. I'm with Tony Dungy on this. I heard him on Dan Patrick's show today talking about it. I don't like it. I don't think there's a lot of people who do like it.
Yeah.
They need to fix that for next year and realize, hey, maybe don't do that, especially for our league that makes sure there's no Monday night game or Thursday night game on the last week of the year to make sure that everything is kind of done squarely and fairly and make sure nobody has anything. I think they have some Saturday games, but if anything, that gives some teams an extra day, which isn't terrible.
Yeah.
Like whatever. But doing Mondays, a Monday night fucking playoff game, I'm not gotta say, I don't like it.
Once again, hire us, NFL. All right, so let's start with Dougie P and Big Red.
I was going to say this one's the Saturday 4:30 game.
Yes.
This one's going to be at Arrowhead. Obviously, the Chiefs being the number 1 seed. Jaguars going in there down. They are 8.5-point underdogs going in.
Okay.
At Arrowhead. Understandable. I think this game is going to be a lot more interesting than people think it would be. If I was a betting man, again, I'm not because I'm poor as fuck. But if I was a betting man, I would seriously consider I'd put a sprinkle on that 8.5-point spread. I would put a little sprinkle on the Jaguars on that one. But if we're going picks, until proven otherwise, and I've said this all year, the Chiefs is the Chiefs. So I got to go Kansas City.
All right. I agree about the whole betting thing. I mean, 8.5, that's high. I would, no matter what, Jaguars should be the underdog of this game. But I think it should be more of a 4.5, 5 point maybe underdog.
Hey, listen, Jaguars lose by a touchdown, you still win your money.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I kind of remember in the past year or two, Jacksonville playing Kansas City, and I think Doug Peterson has won against Andy Reid. So it's not like, the teacher is better than the pupil, or not pupil. Did I say that right?
The pupil's better than the teacher, I think is what you're trying to say, or something like that, right?
So I'm going to go with Jaguars. I'm going with the upset here.
You're going straight up upset.
And I
no neutral site game at all.
Yeah, screw that neutral site shit.
Neutral site shit.
Say that
neutral
five
site shit.
Say that five times fast.
You couldn't say it once, normal.
Can you imagine what Saturday night's going to be for me when I'm drunk?
Oh, dude, like I said, I may live stream it on YouTube, just myself and my reactions.
I thought about doing it for us, but I want to watch the game. See how it unfolds.
It would literally just be my cell phone recording me on YouTube, on the Stay Tuned Sports YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which you can put out there. And I might do it. I might not. I will let everybody know. And it will just be me yelling and cursing and just sitting there and probably drinking Jaeger and Dill. That is what we are looking at there. Okay, so now let's move on to Sunday's games.
Okay, Sunday
the early game, the 3 o'clock game. That will be the Cincinnati Bengals. They will be at the Buffalo Bills. Currently, Cincinnati is a 5-point underdog.
Okay.
Going to Buffalo. This one gives me pause because I'm not, oh boy. Like, I want to say Buffalo because I've been riding that Buffalo train all season.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's good, though, and they have a good defense. And Josh Allen cannot stop turning the fucking ball over. If he turns the ball over more than once, if they get 2 turnovers, if the Bengals get 2 turnovers, they win this game.
I could agree to that.
If the Bengals get 2 turnovers, they win this game. And I'm going to tell you what, the way Josh Allen has played, I think the Bengals are getting 2 turnovers. And I hate this because my niece is a huge Bills fan, and I'm going to be rooting for the Bills for her. But I just, unless Josh can clean up the turnovers, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one.
Okay. I'm going Bills. I think, and not to bring up the last time they met with what happened and everything, I think he got through that game out of how it was going before the injury.
Right.
I think
injury.
Yeah. As soon as I said that, I'm like, dude, that's more of an injury
to the cardiac muscle, deep cardiac muscle injury.
But I think Hamlin is kind of still in their head, and I think not necessarily revenge per se, but I think the Bills are going to be playing harder because of what happened that last time. And I'm going with the Bills here. 5 point. If
I will say this: if DeMar Hamlin comes out,
oh my God, dude!
Before the kickoff, I will that my pick will immediately switch to the Bills.
Yes,
I want to put this in here. If DeMar Hamlin shows up during the game at any point, I'm switching my pick to the Bills.
Totally agree.
But if that doesn't happen, I'm sticking with the Bengals.
And have him as a team captain walk out there for the coin toss
and
look them right in the eyes.
Like if he's on the screen, that doesn't. If he's on the screen, it doesn't matter. If he walks into that fucking stadium, I immediately pick switches to the Bills, and that's how we're going with that. That is what I'm doing. Yeah. But if that doesn't happen, I got to go with the Bengals.
I saw earlier today, they said that since he's been released from the hospital, he's been at the Bills facility rehabbing every day of the week. So,
dude,
can you imagine?
Oh boy!
If I'm Joe Burrow, I'll just be like, you know what? I can't play.
No way. Well, no. Joe Burrow's gonna probably throw a fucking football at his head.
Yeah. So I'm going with the Bills there. All right. So Sunday, 6:30.
The nightcap, the 6:30 game on Sunday is going to be the classic matchup here. Classic playoff matchup in the NFC. You have the Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers. This one's not as cut and dry as I think some people might think it might be.
Okay.
Some people I think would think, hey, San Francisco is going to win this game going outright. Here's the thing: I don't think Brock Purdy has faced a defense yet as good as the Dallas Cowboys defense. And even though the Dallas Cowboys defense is not as good as they were earlier on in the season, they are still fast and they are still very, very, very good. Better than I think anything he's seen so far. So this is going to be a real test for Brock to see where he is and what he can do. The other component to this is that the Cowboys have to face the 49ers defense. and that's going to be a problem for Dallas.
And those sexy arms.
And those big, beautiful, sexy arms of Nick Bosa, as the fiance would say. So I'm going to go, again, San Francisco is a 3.5-point favorite at home in Santa Clara. I am going to go with the 49ers. But I think this game is going to be closer than most people think, and it might actually be less than the point spread. The Niners might only win this game by 3, but I think the Niners win this game.
Okay.
One way or the other. So that is my pick. I am going with the San Francisco 49ers.
So here's my thing. My heart, wow. This sounded better in my head than what's about to come out of my mouth. My heart wants the Cowboys to win. Now, hear me out before you start yelling at me. My heart wants the Cowboys to win.
Because you want the chance.
I want either Philly or Danny Dimes, not the Giants, Danny Dimes, to beat the Cowboys.
Okay.
But I think the Niners do win. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a 3-4 point game. So I think that's 4-point spread, was it?
3.5 point spread.
I think that spread's about right. So I'm going with the 49ers there.
I think that's a good one. Okay.
And then...
All right, everybody, let's take a deep breath here.
That's it for today's show, guys. We will be back next... Because you know how I do not like picking my team.
No, neither do I. I'm always, never pick with emotion, never pick with your heart. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you pick first. You pick first on this one. I'm not doing it. You're the favorites. You're the home team. You're the number 1 seed. You're the best team in the NFL. You go ahead and you pick.
We are picking at the same time. I'll do a countdown, 3, 2, 1.
No, no. What are we, fucking 13-year-old girls at a slumber party? Get the fuck out of here. Who do you like? 3, 2, 1. No, we're not doing that.
You got to use emojis. All right. So here's the thing. I'm going with Philly. But if I don't see that Philly team from the first 3 quarters of the season in the first 2 drives coming out clicking, and if it looks like the team that played in Week 18, we're fucked. Do I think our defense can shut the Giants down like we did in the first meeting with how the Giants have been playing? No. Can we slow them down? I think we could slow you guys down. But it's just going to come down to our offense. If we can't get clicking, we're not going anywhere. So, but I still am picking the Eagles. Just too many pieces on offense to say that your defense is going to shut everybody down. So, Philly.
And that's the thing. I'm not going to make any specific predictions about this game. Oh, it's going to come down to this, and it'll be this play, and it'll be this, or whatever. Like a lot of people like to do. It'll be a last-second field goal that decides to get. No, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to break it down much like you did. The Giants' defense has a problem with teams' first 15 scripted plays. They do.
Yeah.
We saw that with Minnesota. We saw that kind of all year. How they react after that first 15 is done will tell everything we need to know about this game. The Eagles have a tremendous amount of weapons, and they have a great quarterback to get them those weapons. And if he can't get the weapons to them, he himself is a motherfucking weapon. Like Jalen Hurts, again, as we said, that guy fucking squats 660. He's got legs very not dissimilar from fucking Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
He is an absolute powerhouse, and he's a weapon in and of himself. And that's not even considering fucking AJ Brown, which is another massive weapon for the Eagles. And then you put in Boston Scott. You put it's just there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot to overcome. Now, the thing is, this Giants defense is healthy for the first time all year. And in that first meeting with the Eagles where they got drubbed, we were working with third and fourth string guys, practice squad guys, because a lot of our defense was injured. Xavier McKinney was out. I believe Adoree Jackson was still out at that time. I don't believe Dexter Lawrence played that game. There was a lot missing from that game. So I think our defense will be better than it was in that game.
Okay.
I think one of the big differences that I'm looking at from that game is this Giants offense is a lot better than what we saw that day and what we were seeing at that time from the Giants.
Yes.
Daniel Jones is playing a lot better, and it seems to be almost a lot more. It seems like, especially in that first Minnesota game on Christmas Eve, Daboll kind of let the leash off him a little bit. Kind of said, "Go do your thing," yeah. And we kind of saw that, and then we saw even more of that in the Indianapolis game. There we go.
See, you can't talk either.
Yeah, and then we saw it again in the Minnesota Wild Card game, and I understand people saying, "Well, obviously Indianapolis and Minnesota's defense is garbage, so of course they would do good." And I get that, and I get that under that argument and understanding. If the Giants can expose that Eagles rush defense, either through Saquon or Daniel Jones or Matt Breida or all three, if they can get the Eagles to commit to stop the run, if we can get Hodgins to have another fantastic game along with Slayton, there's a lot of ifs, if. Man,
come on, say it. You want to go against your beliefs, just like I just did too.
Fuck you! I'm picking the Giants. It's the Giants. It's always been the Giants. It's always going to be the Giants.
The only other thing that worries me about this game, and I pray to God they don't do it. I pray that they don't force the whole Boston Scott giant killer thing. Just let it happen. Don't make him run 30 times this game. Just do what you've done in the past with him. Just don't force it. If it's meant to be for him to be a giant killer again, then it's meant to be. That's the only other thing that I'm worried about, is that the coaching staff may buy into that whole, maybe Boston Scott is the giant killer. I just hope they don't.
Well, I don't know. All I know is that I'm going to be I can't even think I'm trying not to think about it now because I already feel my blood pressure going up.
Yeah.
I already feel I have it. And listen, in the grand scheme of things, as much as we love sports.
Yeah.
As much as we love football, as much as we love all the sports, hockey, shit, I love curling. As much as we love sports, in the grand scheme of things, sports doesn't mean anything. It's not important. It's not, anything super consequential.
Yeah.
But God damn it, if I'm not just absolutely fucking nervous and on edge and full of anxiety and just this is going to make or break the next 6 months of my life, depending on how this game goes. It's already feeling that way. And I know I got to try to get out of that feeling. I'm 41 years old. I should grow up, not feel so fucking tied to all these teams and all this shit and all this other nonsense. But I don't know. I'm already at a loss for what Saturday night is going to be.
Let me ease your nervousness a little bit here. If Philly wins, I promise I will not rub it in your face for the next 6 months. no matter how far Philly goes in the playoffs.
Well, that's a lie, first of all. That's a lie in hand. First of all, there's not a chance in hell. The moment that the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, I'm going to be getting the drunk call from your ass down in your basement. Woo! Fly, Eagles, fly! Woo! Jameson tastes delicious. I know that. I know that. Especially that. I want to try that orange.
Yeah, that orange is good.
Yeah, I want to try that orange stuff. But that's definitely going to be hard. And again, if I'm staying quiet this week, I'm not talking shit. I'm not going back at Eagles fans on Twitter as I normally would be with a lot of their fucking outrageous nonsense they're saying, or on Facebook or anything like that, or any of the social medias, on TikTok, whatever. Yeah. But I was talking with my father this morning about this, and he even brought up, he's like, the Eagles win, Jimbo's not going to, he ain't going to give you no shot. I said, I know that. And I told him, I was like, listen, I'm not saying anything this whole week. I said, we're in no position to say anything as the Giants anyway. The Eagles have owned our ass for 10 fucking years. And, there's really nothing like that. And I said, however, if the Giants do pull this off, I'm going to be the most obnoxious motherfucker you have ever known in your life. If you thought I was obnoxious in that one video, if you thought I was obnoxious watching the one Dallas game where that fucking old bitch told me, you got the worst mouth I ever heard on anybody. If you thought I was a loud, obnoxious, awful football fan before at any point in your life, brother, you don't even know. You don't even know what's coming. You better pray. All Eagles fans out there, all fucking my fiance sister's friends, all those people. Robin, talk to your friends. Let them know. Let them understand. If they're religious people, if they're church-going individuals, if they believe in God, Satan, or whoever, they better pray to whatever God they wish that the Giants don't win. Because if the Giants win, it's all coming out. It's fucking open season on fucking Eagles. All Eagles. And at that point, I don't give a fuck on anybody or anything. It is open fucking season. So all I'm saying is that if you are an Eagles fan and you're listening to this, or an Eagles fan or anything like that, you better be praying on your hands and knees that I don't get to talk shit at all, and then I'm just like, hey, good season, was what it was, everything like that. Because if it's not, if the Giants win, I don't know what's going to happen to myself. I don't know. I don't know what's going to come. I'm scared. I'm scared for myself because I don't know what's going to come out. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, we still got a few days, but I think that's going to be it for this week, though.
Is that it? Were the picks sponsored by anybody? Do we still do that?
Yeah,
they might as well, right?
They were sponsored by W Energy Drink. Head over to w.gg and use the promo code STSports18, all capital letters, to receive 10% off of your purchase.
W Energy, they're going to keep you focused, keeps your sugar nice and low because there's no sugar in it. And as a diabetic, I enjoy that. I like that, especially now I got a new glucose monitor. Lets me know constantly what my blood sugar is. And so, that's good to know that if I drink W, my blood sugar is not going to go skyrocketing through the roof because there's no sugar. And because there's no sugar, there's no jitters. And I'm going to be jittery enough when it comes to Saturday night. I'm not going to need it anymore. And that's why I'm going to be using W to keep my focus and to keep my energy, to keep me awake until 11 o'clock at night to the end of that game. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yes, go to w.gg. Go and find all the products you want or all the products you need. Let's face facts. And on your checkout, in the promo code box, you go and put ST Sports 18, all capital letters. You're going to go ahead and get yourself 10% off of your order. It's a pretty good fucking deal. I'll tell you that right now. W.gg. Go ahead and do that right now.
So before we go, just want to, I do really, heartfelt wish you guys good luck. I just want a good game. I don't want the refs to
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's not a ref cold game as much as we did with our good friend Ashley.
Yeah.
I wished her good luck for our Cowboys in their last game, and I'll do the same before they play San Francisco. And again, I wish you luck. And all the Eagles fans out there, I wish you luck. And again, pray. Pray to the ever-loving God that the Giants don't pull this off. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
So till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo.
And it's your boy King.
He'll have the excuses built in, don't worry.
Shut the fuck up.